My name is Adesiyan. I'm the founder and CEO of Care in Africa. And Care in Africa is building a thriving care economy on the African continent. We're looking at child care, aging care, the care workforce, and even care investments on the African continent.
Yeah. So care is not something people talk about often on the continent. I mean, people kind of seem to relegate it to the sidelines, to nannies, to like house helps, whatever you want to call
Exactly.
it. So why is it important that we take the care conversation seriously?
Well, care is not shiny, as you have just said. It's not fintech, it's not
It's not
agriculture,
sexy.
it's not sexy. But care is really what powers all work. You and I are sitting here because somebody is caring for either our children or our aging parents. And so when I think about care on the African continent, it is, actually, why are we not talking about care? For example, Nigeria is on track to be the third most populous country in the world by 2040, behind India and China. And if we're really serious about growing our economy, then we really need to start thinking about how do we solve for care? Who is going to take care of these children and our aging parents? And also looking at, when I speak to a lot of leaders, we're constantly thinking about roads and bridges and power and electricity. And my question is, why are we not looking at care as infrastructure? Why is it that care is not on the agenda when it comes to economic opportunity and growth for the continent?
Yeah, absolutely. So you recently got a grant from Morgan Stanley for your company to really drive forward the work that you're doing. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Tell
much.
us how that came about and what it means for Caring Africa.
Absolutely. I mean, being backed by, a leading global financial institution, I think what that means is that, one, care matters. It also means that the care economy is here to stay on the African continent. And I think it's also an indication that it's time to take care seriously, because we're looking at various indices. Companies like that don't just back anyone. They're looking at what are all the things that will make this next, era possible for Africa and Africans on the African continent. And I think it's looking at, indices like care that really serves as the backbone of our economy, saying how do we make sure that women can go back to work with confidence and resilience? How do we make sure children have access to quality and trusted care? How do we make sure that families can actually work, right? And how can we increase, for example, the labor force participation of women? We can only do that through care.
Yeah.
And so I think what the Morgan Stanley, grant or backing, if you will, investment really meant to us was that, wow, care really is important to the global economy and should be important to the African economy.
Yeah. So how can we make care sexy? How can we make people care about care?
I think that one of the things that I always say is that we need to think about care as a collective issue. In Africa, because women do a lot of the care work, we extract labor from women, right? Women are cooking, they're cleaning, they're taking care of our aging parents, our children, and so it's easy to see care as a woman's issue. But when we step back and see that this construct is really what is holding us back, it's limiting the continent, right? So we then start thinking about putting the right infrastructure in place so that women can also live up to their fullest potential, so that families can actually have access to sustainable infrastructure. And so how do we all care about care? It's, men stepping into care. It's markets building for care. It is our government, investing in care infrastructures the same way they think about roads and bridges and power, investing actively in care and seeing care as an economic opportunity and not a cost, right? Because a lot of time we're thinking, oh, it's going to take so much to build a new daycare center, or it's going to take so much to offer women and men paid leave. But seeing care as an economic opportunity and saying, well, if we just provide the right infrastructure, we can make sure that everybody is happy, everybody can get to work and do that work with confidence and resilience. And also, if you look at the youth population in Nigeria, a lot of those people are in care businesses, in the care workforce, like nannies and drivers and housekeepers and chefs. These are folks that are in the care economy, but we do not understand this economy. So if we can just make that economy robust and professionalize it, I think it's going to be a great thing for the continent.